Hey guys, it's Amour. Today I'm going to show you how to make this yarn Yoshi. He's actually been a pattern that's on my blog amigurumis.com for some time, but I thought I might as well make a video tutorial for it. Yoshi's features include a huge nose, his red spikes on the back of his head, this turtle saddleback shell, and also his cute little boots right here great for jumping. And the hardest part, I think, making this pattern for me was trying to design his body right here because it kind of curves up. So I had to do a lot of increases and decreases to get the shape that I wanted. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get started! For the head with green yarn, you are going to do 5 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to close the ring and use a stitch marker. I like to use a bobby pin to mark the very end of our round. For round 2, we are going to do 2 single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So at the end, you'll have 10 single crochet stitches. So here in our very first stitch, I'm going to do my first single crochet stitch. And then in the same spot, I'm going to do my second one. So now I'm going to repeat 2 in each stitch all the way around. So go ahead and work up your stitches. Now for rounds 3 to 5, we are just going to do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So we are staying at 10 single crochet stitches for the round. So go ahead and work up your stitches and I will meet you at the end of round 5. And here's how it should look like after 5 rounds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that one you can cut off. Then we are going to repeat the pattern exactly the same to create a second part. And this one you're not going to cut off and you're going to have to hook here still. And then in this one, right where it ends, the stitch right before that, which is right here, you're going to insert your hook. And then in the very next stitch of this one, you are going to insert your hook again. And then you are going to do a single crochet stitch through both. So that way it will join the 2 parts. And then I'm going to go ahead and I did my 1, but I want to do it across 4 stitches, so I'll have to do it 3 more times. So I'm just going to line it up and then I'm going to go under both stitches. And then I'm going to do a single crochet stitch right here. That's my second one. Okay, I'm going to do that again for my 3rd stitch. And then last one, my 4th stitch right here, I'm going to go ahead and join through single crochet stitch as well. And at the end, it should look like this for the eyes of the Yoshi. And it's been combined across here through 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is how it should look like after you join these 2 parts. And then if we count on this side, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches here. And then same, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So altogether, all around, I should have 12 single crochet stitches. So now what I'm going to do is I want to go around this entire circumference, but I'm going to do 2 single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So that way I will have 24 stitches at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and work up 2 stitches right here. That's 1, 2, okay, go ahead, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then I'm going to continue. It's not going to be right here because that one's joined, but it's going to be in this one right here. It's going to be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24 is our last stitch for this round. Then I'm going to put my stitch marker in so I make sure I know where the end of my round is. And this stitch is joined right here, so that one also doesn't count as well. So now for round 7 through 9, I am going to go ahead and stay at 24 single crochet stitches. So I'm just going to go ahead and work, remember not here, but we'll go here, and just do 1 single crochet stitch now in each stitch around, because we want to stay at 24 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up your rounds, and I will meet you at the end of round 9. So at the end of round 9, this is how your Yoshi head should look like so far. So if we count, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now for round 10, our pattern is going to be a decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, and all the way around, and you'll have 18 single crochet stitches at the end. So we are going to do a decrease here, and then you're going to do a single crochet stitch, and then another single crochet stitch. You're going to do a decrease here, and then single crochet stitch, and repeat all around. For round 11, our pattern is going to be a single crochet decrease, and then a single crochet stitch. Okay, and then you're going to repeat that same pattern all the way around, so that at the end you will have 12 single crochet stitches at the end. For round 12, our pattern is going to be a decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet. So at the end, you should have 8 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up your stitches. Okay, and at the end, you'll want to cut a long tail. And here is our Yoshi head completed. For Yoshi's nose, we are going to do 6 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then for round 2, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So at the end, we should have 12 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up 2 in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of the round. For round 3, our pattern is going to be 2 here and 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, and all the way around. So we should have 15 single crochet stitches at the end. That's 2 here, and just 1, 1, and 1. Okay, and go ahead and repeat that pattern around. For round 4, we are just going to stay at 15 single crochet stitch, so it's just 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So go ahead and work up your stitches. For round 5, our pattern is going to be 2, and then in the next 4, it's just 1 single crochet stitch. So at the end, we're going to have 18 single crochet stitches. So it's going to be 2 here, and then just 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're going to repeat 2 here, and then in our next 4, it's just going to be 1. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat again. For round 6, we are just going to stay at 18 single crochet stitch, so just work up 1 single crochet stitch all the way around. For round 7, our pattern is going to be a decrease, and then in our next 4, just 1 single crochet stitch and repeat around. So that's going to be a decrease right here, and then in our next 4, just 1. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and repeat, decrease, and then in our next 4, just 1. 1, 2, 3, and 4. For round 8, our pattern is going to be a decrease, and then 1, 1, 1, decrease, 1, 1, 1 all the way around, and then we'll have 12 single crochet stitches at the end. So we're going to do a decrease, and then just 1, 1, 1 in our next 3. Okay, repeat the pattern all the way around. So at the end, this is how your Yoshi nose should look like, and you want to also cut and leave a long tail. So for the body, there's a lot of increases and decreases, so you want to pay attention. For round 1, we are just going to do 4 single crochet stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 into the magic ring. Go ahead and close your circle up, and then we are going to use our stitch marker. In the next 2 stitches here, we're going to do an increase, so that's gonna be 1 and 2 here, and then our next stitch we're gonna also do 2. So we're gonna go ahead and do 1 and 2, and then in the last 2 stitches here, we're just gonna do 1 single crochet stitch in each one. So at the end, we should have 6 single crochet stitches here. Now for round 3, we are going to do 2 in our next stitch right here, 1 and 2, and then just 1 here. We're going to do 2 in our next one, 1 and 2, and then just 1 in our next stitch. And then in our last 2, we're just going to do 1 and 1. So at the end now, we should have 8 single crochet stitches. So now for round 4, in our next 4 stitches right here, we are going to do 2 in each one. So we're going to do 1, 2, and then in our next one, we're going to do 2 in the same stitch again. And we're going to do here again, 2 here again as well. And then our last 4th stitch, we're going to do 2 here. And then in our remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches, we are just going to do 1 single crochet stitch in each one. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so at the end, if we count, we should have 12 single crochet stitches. So, okay, this one is here, so we're going to start counting from here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. For round 5, we're going to do 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 right here. So, okay, we are going to do 2 here, and then 1 here, 2 here, and 1, 2 here, and 1. And then in the remaining 6 single crochet stitches here, we're just going to do 1 in each stitch around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we count, we should have 15 single crochet stitches at the end. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now for round 6, we are going to do 2, 1, 1 and repeat that pattern for 3 times. Okay, so we're going to do 2 here in our very first stitch, and then just 1 and 1. Going to do 2 here again, and then 1 and 1. And last time we're going to do 2 here again, and then just 1 and 1. And in the remaining last 6 stitches, we're just going to do 1 in each stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And at the end of the round, we should have 18 single crochet stitches. Now for round 7, we are going to do single crochet in our next 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in our next 6, we're going to do 2 in each one. So that's 1 and 2, okay, and 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, and 11 and 12. And then in our next 8 stitches here, we're just going to do 1 in each stitch around. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so here we should have 24 stitches now. Now for round 8, we're just going to do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch around, so you'll still be at 24 single crochet stitches at the end. So for round 9, in our next 16, we're just going to do 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And now we are going to decrease 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we are going to, in our next round, we're going to decrease 2 more times. That's 1, and that's 2. Okay, and then in our next 3, we're just going to do 1, 2, and 3. And now here in our next 6 again here, we're going to increase, so that's 2 in each of the next 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12. And then in our next 7 last stitches here, we're just going to do 1 in each single crochet stitch. Okay, so at the end of the round, you should still have 24 single crochet stitches. So for rounds 11 and 12, we are just going to stay at 24 single crochet stitches. So now for round 13, our pattern is going to be decrease and 1, 1. Decrease 1, 1 all the way around. So at the end, we should have 18 single crochet stitches. Here's a decrease and then a single crochet stitch and then another single crochet stitch, and repeat the pattern all the way around. For round 14, our pattern is going to be a decrease, single crochet all the way around. So we should have 12 single crochet stitches at the end. So decrease, single crochet stitch, and repeat the pattern around. Okay, so before our very last round, we can go ahead and start stuffing our bodies. So go ahead and stuff it. Okay, so after stuffing the body, now for our very last round, we're going to go ahead and decrease all the way around. So you'll have 6 single crochet stitches at the end. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now you can cut off a long tail and fasten off. Okay, and you can finish stuffing. Here's how Yoshi's body should look like after the last round, and it will finish stuffing, and then we can use our yarn needle to go ahead and close up the hole at the end. Okay, so here's our Yoshi body completed. For the arm, you are going to do 6 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now for rounds 2 through 6, we are going to stay at 6 single crochet stitch. So you'll just do 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 6. Here's how the arm should look like, and you'll want to make 2, and you do not need to stuff the arm. For the cheek with white yarn, you are going to do 6 single crochet stitch into the magic ring. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now we're going to do 2 in each stitch around. So that's 1, 2, and go ahead, and at the end you should have 12 single crochet stitches at the end. For round 3, our pattern is 2, 1, 1, 1 all the way around. So at the end, we're going to have 15 single crochet stitches. So that's 2, 1, 1, and 1, and repeat the pattern again. And here's our cheek completed, and you'll want to make 3 of these because you're going to have 2 cheeks and then 1 for the bottom portion of the mouth. Okay, for the eye patch, you are going to make a slip knot and then chain 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then in the second chain from the hook, you're going to do a single crochet stitch, and you're going to go ahead and single crochet across. So at the end, you should have 6 single crochet stitches. And now for row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And in the very first stitch here, we're going to do a half double crochet stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert into this stitch right here, yarn over and come back out. You should have 3 loops, yarn over and come out through all 3. And in the same stitch, now we're going to do a double crochet stitch, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over and come back out, yarn over, come out through 2 loops only, yarn over and come out through 2 loops again. This stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet stitch in the next stitch. Okay, so you're going to yarn over, come out through all 3. Next stitch, slip stitch. Next stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet stitch. And here I am going to do a double crochet stitch. And then I'm going to do a half double crochet stitch into the same stitch. And in the very last stitch, I'm going to do a slip stitch. Okay, and then you can go ahead and cut a long tail. And here is the eye patch for Yoshi's eyes completed. For the belly patch, you are going to chain 2. Okay, so that's going to be 1 and 2. And in our first chain, we're going to do 1 single crochet stitch. For row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn and just do 1 single crochet stitch. For row 3, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to do 2 single crochet stitch into this very same stitch. You're going to chain 1 and turn. And in this row, you're going to stay at 2 single crochet stitches. Now chain 1 and turn. Now for row 5, I'm going to increase here. So that's 2 single crochet stitch and then just 1 single crochet stitch. So now I have 3. Chain 1 and turn, and for row 6 I'm going to stay at 3 single crochet stitches. So that's just 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now for row 7, I'm going to increase in my first stitch and then just 1 in the middle stitch, and then in the last stitch I'm going to increase again. So at the end I should have 5 single crochet stitches. Now for rows 8, 9, and 10, I'm going to stay at 5 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up your rows through row 10, and I'll meet you when you're finished. Okay, so here's how it should look like after row 10. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to increase at the beginning and increase at the end. So we'll have 7 single crochet stitches at the end. So that's 1 and 2. Okay, and it's just going to be 1, 1, 1. And then our last stitch, I'm going to increase again. So at the end, I should now have 7 single crochet stitches. I'm gonna chain 1 and turn. And for row 12, I'm going to stay at 7 single crochet stitches. Okay, I'm gonna chain 1 and turn. Now I want to decrease to 5, so I'm going to decrease here and then single crochet, and then I'm going to decrease in the last 2 stitches right there. So I'm going to decrease here And in our next 3, just 1. Oops. That's 1, 2, and 3. And then in my last 2 stitches here, I'm going to do a decrease. So now I should have 5 single crochet stitches. Right here, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And now for rows 14 through 17, I'm going to stay at 5 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up your rows. Okay, here's how it should look like now after 17 rows. Now you're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to decrease in our first stitch here, first 2 stitches there, and just regular single crochet stitch, and then a decrease again. So now we should have 3 single crochet stitches. Okay, so now for the next 2 rows of 19 and 20, we're going to stay at 3 single crochet stitches. It's 19. And that's my last round or last row of 20. Okay, so here's how the belly patch should look like so far. And you want to leave a super long tail because we have to use it to sew all the way around. So here's our belly patch. And later, with our body, it's going to actually wrap around the body like this. For the spikes, you are going to, with red yarn, chain 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to do SC across. So at the end, you should have 6 single crochet stitches in this row. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now for row 2, you're going to chain 1 and turn. And here, instead of going through both loops down here, we're just only going to go through the front loop only. So that's 1, front loop only here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, you're going to chain 1 and turn. Then you're going to fold this on top of each other. And then we are going to do 2 single crochet stitch into the very first stitch and join these 2 together. So you're going to go through both layers here and do a half double crochet stitch, and in the same stitch here we're going to do another half double crochet stitch. Okay, and then in our next stitch we're going to just do a slip stitch. Okay, now for here I'm going to do, in our next stitch I'm going to do a half double crochet stitch. And then I'm going to do a double crochet stitch right here. And then in the same stitch, I'm going to do another half double crochet stitch. Then I'm going to do a slip stitch in my next layers. And then here in this stitch, I'm going to do 2 half double crochet stitches. So yarn over, and then I'm going to go through. I'm going to do a half double crochet stitch, another half double crochet stitch, and then finally I'm going to do a slip stitch in the same stitch right here. And then I'm going to fasten off, leaving a long tail. For the shell, you're going to do 6 single crochet stitch into a magic ring. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we are going to do 2 single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So at the end you're going to have 12 single crochet stitches. So go ahead and work up your stitches. Now for round 3, we are going to stay at 12 single crochet stitches. So you're just going to do 1 in each stitch all the way around. Okay, and in the very last stitch, we are going to change color. So you're going to go ahead and do a single crochet stitch, but before we finish it off, we're going to loop our white yarn and then finish it off. Okay, now for the next round, we are just going to do a slip stitch all the way around. So that's 1. And then for round 5 in back loop only, we are going to do a single crochet stitch in each stitch all the way around. So you're going to stay at 12 stitches. And then at the very end, you'll want to slip stitch to join to the very end. And this is how your shell should look like. Okay, for the feet with yellow yarn, you are going to go ahead and chain 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to do 4 single crochet stitch across. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then on the other side of the chain, we're going to go ahead and do 4 single crochet stitches all the way across as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will count as our round 1, and we should have 8 single crochet stitches at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and use my stitch marker to mark my last stitch right here. And for round 2, our pattern is going to be 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way around, and you'll have 12 stitches in the end. So in our very first stitch here, we're going to do 2 and then 1. Okay, and then repeat the same pattern all the way around. And then in the very last stitch, I'm going to go ahead and do a color change. Okay, and then go ahead and move your stitch marker as well. And now for round 3 in back loop only, we are going to do a single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So we are going to stay at 12 single crochet stitches. Now for round 4, we are still going to also stay at 1 single crochet stitch. Now for round 5, we are going to decrease 3 times. So that's 1, and that's 2, and then 3, and then in the next 4, it's just 1 single crochet stitch. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to do a decrease right here. So at the end, you should now have 8 single crochet stitches. And now, in the front loop only, I am going to go ahead and do, okay, this would be going through both loops, and now I just want to go through the front loop only right here. I'm going to do 2 single crochet stitch here. And then in the next 3 through front loop only as well, you're just going to do single crochet stitch. Then you're going to repeat that. You're going to do 2 here again, 1 and 2, and then single crochet in the next 3. And at the end of this round, you should now have 10 single crochet stitches. Okay, go ahead and join to the very first slip stitch here, and then you can go ahead and cut a tail. Okay, and this is how your the boot should look like so far. And we still have this back loop of the orange round here. So now we're going to make a slip stitch with our green yarn, and we are going to work around the back loop here, and it should be 8 single crochet stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right here. And then we're going to go back to the very beginning of the green round. And I can put a stitch marker here on the 8th green one so I know where my rounds end. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more rounds all the way around. And at the end, this is how your boot and leg should look like. And you'll want to go ahead and make 2 of these. Once you've stuffed the head, you can go ahead and put on the eye patch for the eyes. Okay, now for the mouth, you'll want to place it towards the bottom. Now for the arms, you'll need to stuff it. And I like to place my arms actually right at his neck, right here. Now for the leg, you'll want to stuff it. And then for the placement, I usually like to put it right in this area right here. And last but not least is our shell. I'll put a little bit of stuffing in it. is our finished Yoshi. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe so you can catch all my latest tutorials and check out all my patterns on amigurumis.com. I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.